Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kenan, and I'm your host of Wrestling is Awesome, the show where we talk everything WWE. We are live here on YouTube for our weekly show, which we are every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. Give or take a couple of minutes for technical difficulties. And we are live on TikTok, Facebook. So we're in several places at the moment. So this is a live podcast. So basically what happens here is you get in the chat, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, TikTok Live. Give us your thoughts, give us your opinions. We'll give you a shout out on the stream and you'll be part of the show. And we'll also then be converting this into a video and audio podcast, which will be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, GoodPods, anywhere you get your podcast, we will be there. Right, gentlemen, let me introduce everybody to the panel that I have with me today. He's been missing for the longest time, but he is Obafemi's wise man, Neil, the real deal. It's good to have you back, sir. How you doing?
It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. I'm doing good.
Good. We've missed you, brother. We've missed you. It's that road to WrestleMania, man. It's the final week. We needed you back. We needed the wise man back on the show. Also joining us, the tribal chief approved Lee. How we doing, bro?
I'm good, buddy. I'm buzzing. This has been the best week of wrestling, and it's WrestleMania week.
It's WrestleMania week.
Nights, snacks, and yeah, can't wait.
Oh, 100%. It's whatever's gone on over the last few months, or even the last year. Everything kind of just gets put aside for WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean? Let it play out. Let the matches happen. Let the stories unfold. We can bitch about it later, but this week is like, no, I mean, there will be some bitching this week still. I have to admit, it's not going to be all positive. But, you know, you do let a little bit more go, I think, on this week because, yeah, we're going to ride that high all the way to the weekend. And also joining us, who's now become a regular of the show, we have Belt Up Brido. How you doing, Brido?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to WrestleMania. I echo everybody's thoughts. Let's be a little bit more positive this week, at least. And then we can deal with the fallout after it.
That's it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Well, thank you for everybody who's joining us. Thank you for those on TikTok. Make sure you hit that follow button. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And whichever platform you're watching, go to the other one and follow and like and subscribe onto the other platform that you're not watching. Also, to let you know, we are a WWE affiliate. So you will see a QR code in the corner. One of the corners here on TikTok. It's up here, over here, here. So if you're purchasing anything from WWE shop, whether that's in the US or Europe, hit that QR code. That will support our channel, and yeah, it would be an opportunity to make things better for us. I've got another appeal again on TikTok. I think it's because I mentioned WWE. It's just like, this is ridiculous. I'm an official affiliate, damn it. I'm absolutely entitled to be here.
WWE, NWO, AEW, WCW.
Gonna get me cancelled.
TNA, ECW.
We're the bad boys.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Jeez. I can be understand if I was like talking about AEW and getting kicked, but you know. Anyway, right. So WWE, a lot's happening since Friday, Monday. So we're going to go into it. We're not actually going to be covering any predictions on this show. So we are going to record a separate show for our WrestleMania predictions, night 1 and night 2. We'll record that later in the week and it'll be out before the weekend. So this is all about the build up and what's happened on the last couple of shows. But if you guys got any thoughts and opinions, again, get in the comments, let us know and be a part of the show. So guys, I want to, first of all, I'm going to go to Raw, and which was funny because we had a cold open from Roman Reigns package video, which I thought was great. I did a really good job of pushing that narrative and what he believes Punk is about. And what's funny, he said in the main event tonight, and they literally see the main event as those two facing off on Raw. Again, I think it should be a match. However, I thought the promo was really good this week. I thought they both came out really, really strong. But I'd be interested to see who you guys think. Did anyone particular come out on top? Neil, let me know your thoughts.
Even though I have not been here to talk about the last couple of weeks, my solid standing is that CM Punk is the absolute villain of this storyline. Forget personal feelings aside, he is the absolute villain of this storyline. And what I liked about this week specifically is that what they did was they managed to shift the narrative in such a way that whilst there is a somewhat of a villain, somewhat of a hero between the two of them, it went from childish to very grown up.
Yes.
That's what I think. Like, you know, the whole, like, I'm gonna bury you next to your dad, and oh, you're old, and all of those weeks of that, like nah. But this right here of the, I envy you, and I envy you for these very legitimate reasons, and it's like to have Punk deal out and say, and you know, when Punk kept referencing the amount of days that Roman was champion, and it was like, I think every wrestler, WWE, AEW, everywhere, I think everyone would kill to have that span of time,
100%.
especially in the modern era, because we're not talking like, you know, when Bruno Sammartino was champion for like 2,000 some odd days, right? Like, people saw him like once a month.
Yeah.
Right. At best, they might have seen him. You know, he might have defended the title 4 times in a year.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, he's champion for this long, but it's like, yeah, but he was nowhere to be seen. Versus, you've got it like nowadays. You know, Roman was like almost every pay-per-view. So defending your title, having it for that amount of times, even if we take into account he's not there every week and all of that stuff, it's a serious feat. And to have Punk finally acknowledge that and say, I envy the fact that you had this. And then to have Roman say, I envy the fact that for 10 years they chanted your name continuously. I think it really did. It went from basically silly name calling to being like, we are the pillars of our industry.
Yes.
You are the pillar of the industry because you could disappear for 10 years and they still chant your name. And then he's like, you're the pillar of the industry because you held the title so long that we had like 4 WrestleManias back to back where you was just in it.
So yeah, Lee, what were your thoughts?
Loved it. I totally agree with Neil. I think the maturity level of the promos went up. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, neither one of those guys raised their voice once, did they? But they spat venom.
Yeah.
They weren't shouting.
It was more
They didn't need to raise their
calculated.
voice. Yeah. God, it was great. I
Technically, Punk raised his voice when he was on the outside of the ring before he went in.
yeah, just to be heard. Right. It was, for somebody who was bored of Punk and Roman closing every Raw, this got me excited for Night 2 main event.
Yeah.
And it's been much the same, but no, I really, really liked it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Brido, how did you feel about them almost showing a vulnerability to each other?
It's certainly, I think, it's enhanced it a little bit more. Again, it had that kind of peak and it seemed to kind of dwindle slightly. I thought last week was good. I know everybody didn't quite agree with me, but I thought last week was good. Roman turned up and it was good. It did enhance it more. Like you say, it wasn't over the top. I keep saying about keeping things simple. With the build, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. It doesn't have to be mass brawling every week. I thought it was good. Again, the kind of similarities to the two. I envy you for this. I envy you for that. It worked well. It got me more hyped than I already was for the match. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be the main event. It will be the main event. We all know it will be the kind of main event of night 2. It is there for a reason. They are the 2 biggest stars that are there just now, regardless of what we think about if some people don't dig Punk or if they don't like Roman. I personally like both of them. I'm not going to bore everybody with the usual I don't like part-time champions kind of thing. I've done that to death now. I'm hyped about Mania. I'm hyped about this match. It enhanced it for me. It progressed it really, really well. And it should be ending the WrestleMania. And hopefully it ends it properly and we get a great match.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think it's one of those things where you can't have every feud ending up in brawls all the way to Mania. Do you know what I mean? Because you're having the same thing with Brock and Oba, you know, Cody and Randy. You kind of have the same thing. A lot of it, some of it, times needs to be a little bit more calculated. And so I like that they brought it back to that now. It's like we both got right up to the top. We both got right on the edge. Now we're a bit calm about it. We're a little bit more calculated. The matches this weekend, I'm not going to risk anything. I'm going to go into it 100%. Neil, you got final thoughts?
Yeah, two. Firstly, regarding what Brado said about part-time champions, whilst I understand the dislike of it, I actually think, to a degree, part-time champions elevate the division. Full-time champions elevate the championship. Because when you've got a part to, like, I go back to thinking about when Brock Lesnar was like Universal Champion, right? And I think when he was WWE Champion and when he was Universal Champion and these things like that, and I think the fact that it was like, you know, like it became a thing of, the best way I can describe it to you, and this is going to be a really like obscure reference, is it's like Afro Samurai, right? There's the number one headband and there's the number two headband. The only person who can challenge for the number one headband is the person with the number two headband.
Yeah,
Everybody can challenge. Everybody can challenge for the number two headband. So it's that thing of, you have to earn the right to be, you are the best of the pack to go against the very best, to reach the final boss, to go against the champion. You have to be the best of the pack. And I think when the champion is there every week, week in, week out, and this is only for like the top titles in the industry. When the champion is there week in, week out, it's sort of like the champion becomes the draw.
Yeah.
Whereas if you establish the champion as being like this almost mythical, like Thanos type thing, where only you got to jump through every hoop and hurdle to get to that person, it means that it's like, wow, did you see the match between Drew and Cody and Sammy and this person and that person, and you say all the entire field, and you're like, oh, all of these people are amazing, and this person stood out, and now this person has to go against this person. It also means that when that person goes against the champion and beats the champion, we know everything is scripted, but it means that you're like, this person who had to scratch and claw and fight week in, week out to get to this opportunity, now they're fighting someone who's completely fresh, who's been sitting on the throne, watching, you know, sitting from the top of the mountain, looking at the bottom, looking at everyone scrambling up, and I'm like, you reached the top and now you're gonna face me. When they don't win, you're like, okay, well, you know, you didn't beat someone, you beat someone who had months to prepare for you.
Yeah.
When they win, you're like, you beat this person who didn't have to have a match for 2 months or whatever. It's great. The only other thing I wanted to say to close it out as well is the whole brawling every week only works when the two people have established they really hate each other, and it's like that on-site beef. So when it was like Drew and Cody, or Drew and Jacob, or even when it was, I think it was Drew and Damian Priest way back when Damian was like, it's on site. Hey, if I see you, it's on. Those are the times I want to see you brawl every week.
Yeah.
When I see you two just have a face to face and talk about it, and you don't fight, it says so much more. It enhances the story. You're being like, you know, you're basically being cautious, because you're like, you know what, I know how good you are, so I'm not coming at you right now. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna bide my time.
It has to pertain to the character. Do you know what I mean? It has to be true to the characters, which is why it works for Oba and Brock. Let's talk about Oba and Brock. So obviously we had finally the contract signing, which is one of those things. Some contract signings have to happen in the ring, others don't. Who knows how they calculate these things? But we had Brock come out first, cut the promo with Paul Heyman, sign the contract, job done. And then Oba came out and finally got his chance to speak. And I thought he delivered a really strong promo. And I'm so glad they left it right until the last moment on, well, not last bit on Raw, but the last possible chance on Raw for him to deliver that going into WrestleMania. And don't get me wrong, most of it worked because of Paul Heyman and the way he built him up and the way he reacted to him. But I just thought they've not spoken for each week. He's not said anything, obviously, bar shouting out across the ring at each other, but saving that promo to show actually he's more than just muscle. He can deliver a promo. I thought was excellent. I am going to come to Neil again as Obafemi's wise man. How did you feel about Obafemi and Brock segments this week?
I've loved most of their segments because it's King Kong versus Godzilla. It's, you know, two monsters just charging at each other, and you know, the amount of times when it's like you're sending in. The only thing that would have made this, enhanced it better, would have been if it was more kind of back and forth, because it seemed like for weeks that it's just been every time Oba gets his hands on Brock, he does something and Brock's just like, I don't want to smoke no more. And I feel like that, like, we're not getting into spoilers, but that to me is a bit, it's a bit ominous, because it means that it's like, okay, you're gonna have the match and then Brock's gonna just like do what he did with like Great Balls of Fire, where it's like, I'm gonna take every move you got, one F5, good night. Job done.
Yeah.
Right. But I think as well, something you highlighted, waiting until 5 days before Mania, before you hear, yes, we've heard Obafemi speak before, but having 5 days before Mania to finally have him come out dressed in his street clothes, which is a shirt and trousers, you know, showing to a degree, showing a level of elegance, because he didn't come out in jeans and his he didn't come in, well, no, not even that, but like most wrestlers, they'll come out in either like jeans and their ring t-shirt, or their ring their merchandise and their ring gear lower half. He came out, he's like, no, I'm not here, I'm not dressed for battle. But for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I've come out and I've dominated every single time. You know, this is me. This isn't like, oh, I'm here to relax. This is me being generous. I've come out in street clothes, so you know you're safe for tonight. I'm just like, I love it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Brido, are you nervous about this match at all? Could Brock go over? And we're not going to go into predictions too much, but it seems quite one-sided going into it.
I don't think he'll go over. I can't see that in any... Oops, sorry. I don't think he'll go over in any way. I can't see it. It would be the ultimate kind of fumble for me of the weekend, of this weekend. I say this weekend because, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get into the negative stuff, but yeah, Oba should win. He will win. I don't think it will be in any way a squash or anything like that. I think it will be a good match. There will be a bit of back and forward. We're not going to get 10, 20 minute kind of things. We may get 10, but we're not getting a 20-minute match. It will possibly be, the entrances are longer than the actual match, but Heyman, like you said, has enhanced this again. And I know I said that about the previous segment, but it's the reaction Paul Heyman gives. He doesn't need to say anything. I know when he does speak, he's excellent, but his reaction to Oba's words is fantastic. Everything from his facial expressions to the gulping, you can see his throat moving and things like that as well. It's just so good. Oba's great on the mic. He is good on the mic. From NXT to when he came over to face Cody, that was a good promo back and forward with Cody. It was short, but it was to the point. And again, I keep saying, keep it simple. It doesn't need to be elaborate. It's going to be fantastic. I really can't wait for this. I really wish it was the main event. I know it's not, but I wish it was going to be the main event of night one. I wish they'd maybe switched it up a little bit and had the kind of matches kind of mixed in with SmackDown and Raw's kind of side. But that's another thing. But I'm loving it. I'm a big fan, and like I say, like the name says, I'm a meat enthusiast. Let the two big men slap meat against each other. That's what I'm into. A Vince McMahon match from a long time ago. However inappropriate that sounds, but I'm loving it. I'm aware of it. I love it. It's going to be so good, and this could catapult the man to absolute crazy heights. We could be looking at a guy that we're talking about for the next 2-3 WrestleManias for me. At
Yeah,
least.
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the way the crowd has reacted to him, and, you know, Paul's mentioned in his comments, you know, the rise, the way the crowd has taken to him. Lee, surely he's going to be in the main event challenging for a title next year, right?
Oh, yeah, I've got in front of me a enormous slice of humble pie because a couple of pods ago I said this is a match that's happening a year too early. I'm wrong. This match is happening at the right time. Obafemi is about to go, well, part out of the atmosphere, way up into the stratosphere. I don't know my space. Don't at me. But yeah, absolute promo of the weekend for wrestling for me. I think it was better than the one that we'll probably talk about in a minute.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's going on. It's the opening match of night 2. It's going to be free on the ESPN app for whoever's watching it there. Makes no difference to us. It's all on Netflix, so it's all great. But it's got to go big for that night 1. So it's either going to be very short and very impactful to get everyone going, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Or it is going to be a great little slugfest for like 10, 15 minutes and then just going at it. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how this one turns out. Right, let's move on to... We got to talk about it, unfortunately. Pat McAfee was back on SmackDown this week. The integral part of WrestleMania, as it seems to be. But he's here for the fans. He's rescuing, and he's got 25% off ticket sales for like four or 5 days. And to be honest, if you paid full price a few weeks ago, you'd be pissed right now if suddenly the tickets are 25% off. But as Lolly said, just sack Pat. They've kind of doubled down on it. So like Cody's come out and kind of addressed like what people are saying, like he shouldn't be part of it, but they double down on it, and he's treating Cody like he's all that. It's so strange how confident he is in the way that he's speaking to the champion and what he can get away with. Yes, I know he's got Randy there to protect him, but we also still got a bit of Jelly Roll, because that has to keep rolling as well. So Jelly's going to be in Cody's corner, Pat's going to be in the others, and it's just they're two superstars with 20 years worth of history, and you shoehorn in these two kind of celebs, if you want to refer to them as that. I just don't get it. It's so bizarre. You can put celebs in all the other matches. We've got ISHO Speed in a mixed tag, fine with that, but this to be for the WWE Championship match, it's so bizarre. Lee, have you feeling any better after this week?
Okay, I'm got a completely opposite. I like the addition of Pat McAfee to this story. I think he's bringing a corporate ESPN. I'm from above. I know. I feel like I'm the only man on the internet, but I'm kind of like, yeah, because I've always loved Pat, and I loved heel Pat. When he debuted in NXT, Pat was a heel, and he had his little stable, and he was brilliant.
I never saw any of that.
No, it was great. He had a War Games match. He was fucking brilliant.
See, I didn't know any of that. Okay.
But
he went against Adam Cole.
Yeah, and he had Pete Dunne and stuff. It was brilliant. Anyway, the Jelly Roll I find a bit. Jelly Roll's well paired with Cody, to be honest, because they're both a bit disingenuous and fucking. But yeah, I love Pat McAfee. I'm all for him being in the main event, and yeah, adding a bit of. That's my take on it. I see Pat being.
That's a hot take. Mm-hmm.
He's come from above. He's got, because no one was allowed to touch him, were they? And that wasn't Nick Aldis instruction. That was like, I've got my orders.
Mm-hmm.
No superstar's going to lay a hand on this guy. So I'm assuming he's like an ESPN rep, or I don't know.
Okay.
But no, I don't sack Pat. No, keep Pat.
Brido, he's threatened that if Randy doesn't win, that we'll never see him in WWE again. So what does that tell us? What do you think?
If I was ringside, I'd try and interfere to make sure he lost. But Honestly, guys, and like you say, in what world does Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton need this? Last year we had Travis Scott helping one of the greatest all time. Well, not helping, coming into the match with one of the greatest all time against Cody Rhodes, and now we have Pat McAfee. Listen, I'm not against Pat McAfee being in the WWE. I remember his NXT stuff, his commentary, although I prefer Corey or Wade, is fine. It doesn't really take away from that kind of thing. I don't see any way why the guy's there. They don't need him. I'm actually reading things about people not wanting to watch the match because of it. People talking about how they are more interested in Liv Steph and things like that. Nothing, again, I'm hyped for Liv Steph as well, but I've got the complete opposite. I just don't get it. I have no... It's not... And the JBL spoke and said, oh, it's not go away heat. It is go away heat. People literally don't want the guy involved. They want the two superstars involved. We don't need Jelly Roll either, by the way.
Yeah.
Why Jelly Roll's involved in this storyline is beyond me.
I think there's a different way of looking at it. So one is he's there and he's being a bit of a mouthpiece, and he's kind of producing that narrative from above. I can understand that. But when you add his graphic to the match card, that's when I have an issue. It's like that does not need to happen. Because to me that more speaks about Randy not being able to get the job done without him. So, and to me that's not who Randy is. He's never needed that.
Pat McAfee's not the authority figure, though. That he might be playing this role of being sent down by the authority figure.
Well, he's speaking against the company, actually, isn't he? So
but I mean, but it's not. We're not talking about if it was a Triple H type thing here, an established guy that we know and we see and we know his history and things like that as well. It's not a Vince. It's not that kind of way. We're not. Most of us are not hating on this because it's a guy that we love to hate and boo, boo, boo. We just don't see the sense in it. Or most of us don't see the sense in it. We don't see what good or what this is adding to the actual feud between Cody and Randy. They didn't need this. Again, I keep saying the same thing. You don't over elaborate, don't go crazy, and don't keep adding too much. It doesn't always need that. Sometimes we just need two guys fighting for the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Neil, come on, give us your thoughts.
Something just occurred to me.
I thought you were deep in thought. Go on.
Cody Raheem Rhodes has not won or lost a WrestleMania championship match clean.
No.
So his first go around with Roman, Solo, Bloodline, everybody interfered in that, right? The second go around, obviously, Rock got involved, Cena got involved, Undertaker got involved, Rollins got involved, everybody got involved, right? And now,
last year, Travis,
I even forgot that. Last year, Travis, and now this year, it's flipping Pat McAfee, right? I think, you know what it is? As long as there is at least, not legitimate's the wrong word. As long as there is a cohesive and logical reason as to why anyone gets involved, I got no problem. The fact that Jelly Roll is involved is fine to me. Because Jelly Roll was always Jelly Roll was there standing by Randy, him and Randy really good friends, and it was like when Randy was a face, he was the one who was like, Jelly Roll, I'm here with you, and Jelly Roll was taking just freaking Claymore after Claymore after Claymore, for Randy. So it was like, okay, cool, I get that. So now your friend has essentially turned to the dark side. You want to be there, and it's like, okay, I can understand. I can get the sense that it's like he's not there to protect Cody. He's there to try and bring Randy back to the light. Pat Pat McAfee doesn't really have a reason to be there. It could have been someone else. I agree with all the sentiments when people say it should be just the two of them going back and forth. And the fact that we've barely had any kind of promo packages or anything highlighting things like legacy, you know, the history between them, you know, when there was legacy and it was Cody and Randy and Ted DiBiase Jr., all of these things here, the fact that that isn't the highlight of it, the fact that Randy isn't, you know, at no point, maybe he has and I just can't remember, but why hasn't Randy just sat there and been like, you know what, 2 years ago I had you on my shoulders celebrating your win, and the belt was just calling to me. It was just saying, Randy, you gonna let me sit here on someone else's shoulders when you can't get 15? Why is that? Why? That should have been, Randy should have been sitting there with the belt talking, like, I mean,
and it's like, you're my friend, where's my opportunity?
yeah,
Something like that, you know.
He should have been like, yo, you know what? I should have been first in line, right? I was there for you when this happened. It was like, you say you look up to me because of, you know, because of legacy and because of what I built and what you built. And where was the, here's your title match. Here's my thank you to you. We have a title match on one of the biggest stages, whether it's SummerSlam, King of the Ring, something. We could have done something.
Yeah, you're fighting AJ, you're fighting Cena, you know, you're
Yeah.
fighting Kevin Owens and all these people, you know. Yeah, exactly. Where's my opportunity?
Yeah.
So I've seen that.
But also, I think in a weird way, it's like, it's just running back to it. It's very Pat McAfee without. It's not, because it's not even like he was there on the commentary table and it slowly built up to it, or on his own podcast show he slowly built up to it. There was no pictures or videos or social media posts where it's like, oh, here's Randy kicking it with Pat McAfee, or what? Why didn't Pat McAfee have Randy Orton on his show and
get,
you know,
Pat thinking, hang on, this guy should be championing how they're doing things for the business. You could have interviewed him. Exactly. They could have interviewed him and then built it that way. And there would have been a much better way to have Pat siding with Randy than just randomly pop up and then it's like, ooh, some mysterious figure, you know, the hidden hand is pulling the strings and saying, yeah, well, nobody can touch Pat McAfee. And I'm like, what do you mean nobody can touch Pat McAfee? What was it, a year ago when he was getting chopped down by Gunther?
Yeah, a year ago he was getting folded like an origami swan by Gunther, but now nobody could touch him.
Yeah. True. Going into the chat, Richard, he said 100% agree Pat McAfee is ruining this match, but ironically the personal feelings of WWE versus TKO might pay off. Yeah, it's a strange thing where he's kind of voicing some of the opinions of the fans, but they're not really changing anything. So look, maybe after WrestleMania it'll be a new era.
Well, I think Richard's spot on there. I think sometimes we get into the mindset that WrestleMania is the close of everything, and actually WrestleMania could be the start of a year-long WWE versus TKO storyline that just kicks off. So I say let it play. Pat,
let it play.
I think Pat's a great heel.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, if that's a road that they walk down, the fact that next year's WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia, and it's like the first WrestleMania outside of North America.
Yeah.
When for years, I mean, yeah, there's bias, but for years they kind of touted like the first WrestleMania outside of North America would have been London, and it's magically in Saudi Arabia. I mean that it's like you're slowly trying to build this tension. You're building this kayfabe tension between TKO and WWE, or between rich people and working class people, between corporate and fans.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, the WrestleMania in outside of North America, you have that happen, and it's like, ooh, okay, so this is what you're doing. And it was like, yeah, we don't care about fans, we care about money. We care about making money, you know.
Right, well, let's move on, because this isn't bitching about wrestling anymore. Richard has just said Neil could easily be creative control for WWE. Indeed, that's why we have him on the show. That is why he's
Listen, folks, please understand something. I told these guys already, right? I am booking my personal year of wrestling from this WrestleMania to next year's WrestleMania. If I had complete control, good God.
It's going to be magic. We'll be covering that in some special edition episodes with Neil planning out the next year. And Lottie's mentioned maybe the I'm going to ruin wrestling storyline isn't dead. Maybe it's not. Well, maybe Cena busts it out of WrestleMania. It's like, I told you I'm going to ruin wrestling. Right, anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about something positive. Let's talk about Danhausen and what a delight he continues to be. Danhausen had his debut on SmackDown versus Kit Wilson. A very short match, but he shows he's got some moves in the ring. Even the commentary were like, ooh. But just when he thought Kit Wilson was getting the upper hand, he double cursed him up on the top rope, and the pyros went off, allowing him to take advantage for the win. And again, all the social media stuff that came after that, his appearance on Raw, the referee who did his match, who got cursed and his arm got stuck, he did a TikTok video where he was out with his family. Everything positive was happening to him because the curse was lifted. He was having the best week of his life. It is just really, really great content, and I continue to love this guy. So we're all Fanhausens here. Neil, I don't think I've heard you talk about much Dan because you've been on the show. Tell me a little bit about Danhausen for you.
The art of wrestling is not just your in-ring work. And I think there are some people who've kind of lost the ability to not be to be so impactful outside of the ring. You have certain people like Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is impactful whether he's in the ring, whether he's on Twitter, and The Miz is impactful. You just give him a microphone, he's impactful. But he's a great comedy wrestler. R-Truth is a great comedy wrestler, and it's. And I admit that when Danhausen debuted for WWE, I didn't really like his debut. But I've never had someone grow on me as fast as Danhausen has.
Yeah, especially
and even I had watched him.
Did you know him before he came in?
Yeah, because I watched him in AEW, and but it was sort of like, forgive me, wrestling world, I have a clear divide between WWE style and AEW, or WWE style and non-WWE style. And I feel like you can get away with a lot of things outside of WWE. Like, they have people like Danhausen, they have people like Orange Cassidy and that, where they can do things that the average person who watches wrestling may look at it and be like, what is this foolishness? It's the equivalent of like, Scotty Too Hot is the Worm, or the Caterpillar by Otis. It's like, I don't want to see some of this foolishness. I want to see big meaty men slapping meat. But Danhausen is someone who can just entertain you. Like Danhausen could genuinely have his own TV show outside of wrestling. And it would be amazing. It would be genuine. You could have Punked, but call it, Cursed, and it's literally just Danhausen, cursing people. The thing with the ref, where he accidentally cursed the ref, and then he removed the curse. Like, I don't know if the referee took it on himself to do that, or if somebody told him, listen, I need a social media post from you to do this. But wow, I'm like, Danhausen is grown.
We can criticize WWE for like short-term storytelling or not going to the other. This is like full storytelling. It's all over the place. Brido, Kit Wilson, he seems to be the guy that, if you need to put someone over, I'm gonna fall on my back. How are you feeling about Kit Wilson?
I don't mind it actually because he's involved. He's involved far more now than he was obviously when Pretty Deadly obviously were kind of written off due to the injury, but he's involved more. And he is on TV quite a bit. It's and being honest, the Kit Wilson stuff, the Danhausen stuff, is probably one of the highlights of SmackDown.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
he's doing the loss. I don't think matters that much. Everybody remembers we'll remember the pyro going off, and we'll remember that kind of way. It's very funny. That to me, it's very funny. I'm thinking most people think the same now. I agree with Neil. The debut wasn't great, but I always maintained that Danhausen suited WWE far more than he suited AEW. Although his debut in AEW seemed to be better, I'm sure he came out from under the ring at AEW and just cussed. I'm not even sure who it was, but it was a little bit more of a surprise. Then it wasn't the kind of he suffered a bit more in WWE from the build. You know, here's the crate, here's the crate, here's the crate. Well, let's watch the crate again. So he's doing really, really well. I thought he would. It's how long it kind of goes and how much they can kind of get out of it. Hopefully that continues a bit more. I want to see the reaction when somebody does actually hurt him though. I'm waiting on Randy RKO'ing him or Brock throwing him about 40 feet across the ring or something, and everybody kind of feeling really, really sorry for him at that point. But
100%.
But his social media stuff's great. He was today with Punk, and Punk was paying him to go away and things like that. It's simple, it's funny. I like it. I hope it continues for a long time. I can't wait to see what happens. You know he's going to be at Hall of Fame, or he's going to be with Cena or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's nailed
right.
on.
Well, actually, because the Michael Cole and the Miz are co-hosting Hall of Fame, so we know his relationship with the Miz. So I'm sure Danhausen's going to turn up. I think that'd be brilliant. Richard on the chat, he said, "I hope I have to give credit to Kit Wilson. It can't be easy to lose your tag partner. You have to remain consistent and on screen so you don't get cut. And his character change has been brilliant. 100%. He's done really, really well. But he has also maintained as soon as his partner is fit, he wants to return back to the tag team division. That's where he sees him, and that's where he wants to be." Neil, final thoughts. Go on.
Right. Kit Wilson. It's going to sound crazy when I say it, but Kit Wilson is the third coming of Billy Gunn.
Oh, okay. I see the comparisons. Yeah.
Billy Gunn, Dolph Ziggler, Kit Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You come in, you're a tag team specialist. You wind up on your own for whatever reason. Partner's injured. You separate, whatever. And you're so good, they basically book you to make other people look good.
Yeah.
So you will see him in matches getting thrown around. You know, when you say it about watching him get RKO'd or getting Brock Lesnar treatment tossed, you know, into the freaking fifth row or something. It's all things like that because you're such a steady hand. You're so reliable. And I think I never really thought of it before until we brought it up here. I never really thought about it, but I was like, well, yeah, because in Pretty Deadly he was really good.
Yeah.
But when you have a tag team partner and you have things like that, it's easy to kind of for your work to get not brushed aside, but it's easy for your work to get halved because they're like, you're good, but you also have this tag team partner.
Yeah.
And now you're shining by yourself. Now it's like, oh no, you're really good. And
Yeah.
like, actually, you're so good that you can help elevate others.
Yeah, I always thought Pretty Deadly were underrated as a tag team and really underutilized. So, right. Let's talk about Seth Rollins and Gunther. So we came to blows this week. Really straightforward, simple build up over the last couple of weeks. Lee, you excited for this match? Because I think they're going to put on a banger, regardless of the reasons why they're doing it. I think it's going to be a great match.
Buzzing. They sold the story this week. They sold the story. Why are you fighting? I don't like you.
Yeah.
You are a dick, Seth. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just simple storytelling. We now know why. I still think there is more in the favour, and let's let that simmer and play over a few months up until SummerSlam. But yeah, Gunther, nice, clean. Gunther's my favourite wrestler at the minute. He's everything he does turns to gold. Yeah, that's going to be. I'll go on record now. I think that'll be the match of the weekend. I think it'll eclipse. I think Brock and Ober circle back will be a great opener, and possibly the shock of the weekend. This will be the match.
In terms of the match of the night. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
bad
it's
shout.
going to be fantastic.
Yeah, Brido, are you buying the Seth Rollins and Gunther match?
It doesn't really need much of a build. These two guys, they'll just go out. They'll have a great match. It could be the best match of the weekend. I don't know if it will be, but it's definitely one I'm looking forward to. It's mainly built on the fact that the two of them are so talented. That's all.
Yeah.
You don't need anything elaborate here. Like you say, two guys don't like each other. Let's fight.
Yeah.
Great.
Remember
There you go.
WrestleMania 17, Angle Benoit, week build.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a week build, and it went on to go to some of the best matches. All the way
Sometimes
through.
we don't need to go into
Don't
any
overthink
kind
it.
of history. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the two guys are really, really talented. I know I keep saying this, but they are so good in ring. It will be a good match. I don't see them putting on anything bad unless there's an injury or anything that one of them's carrying. But Seth coming back as well, is he going to be sharp? I'm sure he will be. It'll be a great match. Both guys are so great. I know I'm this one is one of the ones I'm probably looking forward to. It's in I've got like kind of top 5 that I'm looking forward to, and then the rest are kind of meh to I couldn't care less. But yeah, thumbs up for me. Decent. It doesn't have to be an over elaborate build, and it should be a banger.
Yeah. Neil, Jacob Fatu obviously defeated Tamatonga, but Drew McIntyre came out. He handcuffed him, beat him down, whipped him. And there's a great promo video as well with Drew McIntyre being in the prison, talking about Fatu and how he should be there and what he did for his family. It's been a really strong build-up. And it's an unsanctioned match, this one, isn't it? So how are you feeling about this one?
Sometimes you just need two big, strong fellas to just tear strips out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm trying to think. Could you come up with a better duo of big, strong boys just going to ham on each other? I think any match that Drew is in, he will be able to elevate that match before it takes place. He will be able to use social media or use his promo skills and push that match further up than it probably would be without him.
Yeah.
And I think the only problem I think I have is that I feel like, as much as I love him, I feel like Jacob is getting a bit stale, or has gotten stale. The reason I say that is because he came in so hot with the "I love you, Solo," that like zealot follower, to then be this like, I'm on my own, I'm doing my own thing, to go that way and stay that way, and there's not been any real development.
I get where you're
from when
coming
he
from.
reached there, and it's like the match itself will be great, but I think promo wise, Drew is carrying this, and it may unfortunately affect the match, because Drew's carrying it so much that in the event that he doesn't win, then it's sort of like,
Now what? Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think the anticipation is that Drew is going to lose because he's going to go off and film Highlander and stuff. So, but you never know, because both of them could take some time off after WrestleMania and then they come back to it. So we'll see what happens. Lee, on SmackDown this week, we saw the debut of Royce Keys. So we hadn't seen him since the Royal Rumble. Why drop it now, the week before WrestleMania? Why not Raw after Mania or the first SmackDown after Mania? Why do you think they've done it this week?
That is a very, 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 very good question. I can't answer it. Maybe the backlash of SmackDown's been falling a bit flat, and they wanted a bit of pick me up. I don't know. It's a very impressive debut.
It was a good debut, yeah. So he defeated
Yeah.
Berto, a good match, and he looked good. Again, I haven't seen him before the Rumble because I hadn't seen him in AEW. But Neil, you've got thoughts? Go on.
I think you do this to set it up so that he can walk out and be the first challenger to a champion. I imagine that he'll be the guy that who can walk out, you know, with, hypothetically, Sami Zayn wins his match at Mania. He's in the ring celebrating his win. Royce Keys walks out. Promo, I want that. Nothing more. And because he's already been established from last week as being another big powerhouse, you know, from the Vince, he's the Vince McMahon back catalogue of superstar. You have him come out and wow, he's the guy. Even if it's not Sammy, even if it's Trick Williams, if Trick Williams is the one who comes out and he wins and he's like, hey, you know, Trick Willie, lemon pepper stepping, and then he comes out and is like, no,
different animal.
I want that. And then it's like Trick Williams, who can very easily play the I don't want to smoke, I'm a little scared, I'm easing back. There's lots of things that can take place, I think. But you debut them the week of WrestleMania, or the week before WrestleMania, sorry, for that sole purpose of showing you this is what could be coming next.
Yeah. Lee, go on.
I think I got a slightly more boring and potentially more realistic answer to why he debuted. Wasn't SmackDown relatively his hometown? Wasn't it being in his hometown? So,
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, to make sure you get good crowd pop. Okay,
I feel dirty.
Ruining my promo.
Yeah,
it was such a HR answer. I am sorry.
no, that's HR approved. Bryder, do you know much about Royce Keys?
Yeah, from AEW. Seen a fair bit of him in there. He has been wrestling in the house shows. He's undefeated.
Okay.
He's been squashing pretty much everybody he's had in the house shows from what I've seen in the reports. I was a bit shocked that he did have the match on Friday. I thought it may have been next week, or I thought he might have came out and interfered at Mania. Got involved in some way that way. He still could, I suppose. But yeah, I thought it was enough to get past. There's plenty more to come from him, hopefully. God knows SmackDown needs a little bit an injection of something more exciting in some ways. He has got ability, he's very talented. It's how they become, how they work this. It would be ideal, like Neil says, to put him into a kind of mid-card title programme with the likes of whoever comes out of this Sammy Trick thing, hopefully Trick, and we could just see where it goes from there. It doesn't necessarily need to pick up the title. They could have a programme of 2-3 matches over a period of time. It could get involved with... my worry is they involve him with something like Aleister Black, which I don't think it would benefit either. But
yeah,
I think Aleister needs maybe put up with somebody a little bit more established than Royce Keys just now, just to kind of elevate him a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he's probably going to fight. Who am I thinking of? Kit Wilson next week, and then just smash him. So, or this Friday coming for SmackDown. Unless they can they do their Battle Royal? I'm not sure I've seen it advertised. They're doing their Andre the Giant Battle.
Yeah, it's advertised.
Oh, is it advertised? Okay, so I'm sure he'll be in that. Maybe
is it going to be on? It's on SmackDown?
It should be on SmackDown. Yeah, it'll be on SmackDown.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of, did anyone notice that Aleister Black was in the background when who was it? When Pat McAfee was talking with Jelly Roll.
Yeah, I've seen some.
You talk about how good it is.
Yeah, but we've also seen Austin Theory talking to Maxine Dupree in the background like 3 times. I don't know how much these things actually make.
Yeah, but that's
just
that's just a man trying to get some coochie. There's a difference between a man trying to get some coochie and somebody just watching, eyeballing, just biding their time.
All right. Just go over to the chat. So Richard said, unless I've missed it, we still don't know who attacked Jacob months ago. No, it's never been officially commented on. The presumption is that he thought it was Drew, which is why he interfered in that title match when he came back. But Drew's not admitted to it. He hasn't actually said he thinks it's him. It's just one of those unsolved mysteries. Reggie, what's up, lads? Good to see you here, Reggie. Thank you. I think they might be turning Sami Zayn heel. Yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense. I thought they would have lent into it a little bit more last week, but maybe they might do so more on this SmackDown before. It's just very meh. He's kind of coming out with a veteran angle at the moment. Like, you know, if you're going to be the next guy, you need to kind of prove it. I'm not particularly feeling this match, but anyway. Richard Royskis was probably because they didn't want a Mania contender to hurt themselves, and he got a home pop. Yeah, agreed. Harp and Bray, SmackDown. Yeah, so the Battle Royal is going to be on SmackDown. Let's talk about Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan dropped a music video this week. Trouble, which is kind of an extension of her entrance theme, and then she came out and smashed Stephanie Vaquer, obviously while she was getting interviewed, because Stephanie attacked her from behind last week and left a huge lump on her forehead, as well as Roxanne. And but Liv looked crazy, and I dug it, and I'm really digging this match. I'm actually really excited for this one. I think I'm looking forward to so much more than Jake Cargill and Rhea Ripley. So what do you think of the music video and Liv and Steph?
The music video was nice, wasn't it? It was
pretty entertaining.
Very artistic.
Yeah.
but to put my HR hat back on, mate, I can't wait for this feud. I can't wait for this match. They have, from what went from like an ice cold, oh great, they Liv just looked fucking mental. Sorry for swearing. We're like,
no,
she looked insane. She's screaming. Steph's like, that's what a brawl should look like compared to that piss water that was Randy and Cody a couple of weeks back. This was just intense.
This was cinema.
Insane.
Yeah.
This is in my top 3 matches that I'm looking forward to at Mania. Absolutely. We've talked about them all now, but yeah.
Good.
I can't wait.
Right.
Can't wait for this feud.
Neil, we had the Usos in LA Knight defeating Solo Sikoa, Tongaloa, and JC Mado in a 6-man tag match. The Usos and LA Knight going over. Normally, your team that wins kind of doesn't go over the program before WrestleMania, but we'll have to see what happens. What do you think of this match and this feud? The Usos and LA Knight. Is it just a kind of a throw together situation because they needed to get them on the PLE? Because that's kind of how it looks to me.
I think it is exactly that. I think it's that they needed to have Jey Uso and LA Knight on WrestleMania at some point. They needed the two of them there specifically. Not disrespecting Jimmy at all. I love Jimmy, but to have last year's Royal Rumble winner and WrestleMania World Heavyweight Championship winner not appear on the following year's Mania for no reason other than we couldn't find a match for him is be diabolical work. So that and the fact that LA Knight is still LA Knight, he still draws it. LA Knight, right? That they did. Unfortunately, they threw this match together so that they could have the whole crowd yeet and the whole crowd yeah. Yeeting and yearing. That's the whole reason they drew this card.
Yeah.
And I just think it's I think it's problematic because also it's like it doesn't really matter who wins this match. Which is terrible, which is a horrible thing to think about because I hate the fact that there could be a WrestleMania match and I'm like, it doesn't matter who wins this match.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is. The Usos obviously came out with new music. New music because their last tune didn't work out. No one responded to it, so they've changed it to now it's just us Us instead of me Us. Good stuff. Right, Brido, talk to me about the Intercontinental Championship match. So we got a ladder match coming at WrestleMania. We had Dragon Lee and Javon Evans versus Rusev and JD Madonna. Thought it was a really entertaining match. All kind of kicked off at the end. Rey Mysterio, Penta coming out. I thought this, for what it is, it's been a good build. What do you think?
Yeah, it's something that doesn't need a lot of kind of anything elaborate. It's extremely talented guys, a mixture of different styles, from JD through to Penta to the experience of Ray to Javon Evans, who I just can't wait to see what he does. I'm hoping this time I'm not building him up so much that I did with the Chamber, because I was expecting more from the Chamber, from him and Trick, but it didn't really quite pan out. This is hopefully going to be where the start of kind of Javon pushing towards something a little bit higher up. I'm not going to go into the prediction kind of way. We are going to go over that later, but I'm psyched to see Ray there as well. I love Rey Mysterio. I think he should have a little bit more of a kind of decent run before we eventually see the end of him. He's picking up a lot of injuries all the time now. I'd rather he didn't just fizzle out. I'd rather he went out the right way.
Yeah, agreed.
There's so much talent in this match. There's going to be some great spots. It will be phenomenal. It will. It's what we want. This is a WrestleMania match that we need. We need a stipulation. We needed this kind of way. I would have liked to have had a few more stipulations on the card. Something a bit different rather than unsanctioned or things like that, which I don't really get.
Yeah.
But this, for me, it is, like I say, in my kind of top 5 matches that I'm going to be looking forward to at WrestleMania. This is one of them. I'm just hoping it lives up to what I'm building in my head. So we'll see how we get there.
All right. No, some very good points made. Right, what else have we got to talk about? Obviously, the women's tag match. We've had matches go back and forth. Alexa Bliss defeated Bayley. Lyra Valkyria defeated Charlotte Flair. Not entirely sure which way it's going to go, but I think the build-up to this match has been a little bit messy. Haven't really been that invested in it. So does anyone particularly want to talk about it? Nah, let's just move on. What else have we got? And then, the other poor build-up, Jay Cargill and Rhea Ripley. So they've tried to incorporate Sky into this with Asuka and Kairi Sane. And Io has taken back-to-back losses. She got beat by Jay Cargill, and then she got beat by Kairi Sane. Io Sky, again, she was in the main event of WrestleMania last year, winning and retaining, and now she's not even on the card. What the fuck? She's one of the best talents on the roster, and she is not in a match. I do not understand this. Brido, give me your thoughts.
I'm still sticking with Io and Rhea break up after this. I still think it's odds on to happen. This is people are kind of talking about Charlotte and Alexa being the kind of big kind of break up thing at this week. I'm 100%. Well, 100% can I be 100%? But I would put the mortgage on it, on this, on them breaking up in some way. There's something's going to happen. There's no way, like we say, we're going from last year, Io being the title matches and things like that, to having nothing major to do in this match. It's the obvious one is Rhea turning heel to me. I think she's far more suited to that. But I'm through predicting how they get to the end here.
I think for me, the way I kind of see it happening is Rhea potentially takes the title, and she then puts it up against Io because she's got something to prove, because she's never beaten Io for the title. Io's been on a losing streak, so almost Rhea sees this as like a good opportunity, and then potentially obviously Io beats her and she loses her shit and then beats her down after the fact. So for me, that's a way that you can kind of take this to the next level, because the whole thing is that Rhea's never beaten Io for a championship, or beaten her at all, I think.
Beaten her at all, yeah.
Yeah, so I think for me, that's the way that I would pick it. Right, what else? Let's go to the chat. Harp and Bray said, justice for Carmelo, 100%. He should absolutely be on the card this year, carrying SmackDown for week after week after week, just for Sami Zayn to come in and take the title. There was no reason that Carmelo and Trick Williams wouldn't have been an amazing match. My only thought is that they are saving him, because we thought that Sami was going to be in the title picture, like going into Saudi, like next year and stuff like that. Maybe it's that precursor, that build up. I don't know, but it's just got really, really messy, the US title picture. she shouldn't have gone to Coachella. Yes, Liv Morgan did go to Coachella, and I think some of the bags around the eyes might have been from that. I don't know. Some of it was bruising still from the headbutt, but yeah, she did add to the craze look. Richard, for the love of God, Stephanie and Liv need to stop killing bystanders. Yes, we had another person taken out, and even on social media, they were really focusing on this thing about who's the one that got knocked down in the ring.
Kathy Kelly.
Kathy Kelly, you know, the fact she got knocked down, she's being carried to the back. Maybe she's having some time off, I don't know. Reggie, is WWE still partnered with TNA? Yes, I believe so. There is still some there. It doesn't happen as often now. I almost feel like they did this deal because they wanted Joe Henry. Because Joe Henry was at his peak and he was really, really popular. Like, let's capitalize on this. Let's make a deal. And now that they've signed him officially, it's like, we're not bothered as much.
There was a smidgen of controversy about that this week, wasn't there, with some independent shows and TNA.
Yeah, TNA have stopped their wrestlers appearing on independent shows. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, particularly, I think they were paired up against a couple of AEW boys, and they were like, nah. TNA pulled it, but
yeah, maybe a little word from WWE in there, yeah, because I can't imagine TNA would be that bothered. It seems
I've done it before,
strange.
yeah.
Yeah. Very, very strange. Harp, I predict Javon Evans to win. It's not a bad shout, to be honest. There's quite possible. Let's have a look. TNA seems to be working some big arenas nowadays. Yeah, you know, I think TNA is really trying to do a product. EC3, I think, just returned to TNA as well. So that's happening. Right. Anything else that we want to talk about? I think we've covered pretty much everything that I was going to talk about. So is there anything that you guys want to cover? Brido, go on.
Becky and AJ, sorry.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I'm the only one looking forward to this because I'm a Becky Lynch fan. So
I thought it was a much better promo this week.
Yeah. I think Becky, I'm looking forward to this mainly because I am such a big Becky Lynch fan. I think she's, again, in the same kind of mould of Drew. I think she does some of her best work away from the ring. And I've seen her from everything from social media kind of packages. She's out with all kind of content creators. The girl that does the kind of running in the streets of New York and things. So I think she was, I don't know if it was New York she was in, but she was on her page today out doing jogging with her. She obviously was in a thing with Danhausen as well, who appears to be in every single kind of storyline from Punk to God knows what. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I'm such a big Becky fan. I am hoping that she does win this one, because again, I do think I would like to see a better kind of Becky Lynch WrestleMania moment. It doesn't have to be clean, but I sometimes think Becky gets to the kind of match and it doesn't quite live up to the hype, or it doesn't quite produce the goods in some ways. I'm mainly thinking about the triple threat with Charlotte and Ronda. But yeah, I this is personally one of the ones I am looking forward to. I think I'm in the minority with most people here, but not just you guys, but online as well. There isn't a lot of hype around this, but I am actually looking forward to it.
I think it's definitely improved the last couple of weeks because they had a little bit of a face-to-face. I think last week she was being interviewed by Michael Cole, wasn't she, or something, and then Becky came in. I thought that was a really good exchange, and then I thought the promo package they did this week was solid as well. I think actually the promo videos they've done in the last week have been really, really strong. It's really taken some of those feuds to the next level and really given them some grounding and gravitas. So I've been really, really interested in that. Reggie, the Hall of Fame seems interesting this year. So Hall of Fame, like I said, The Miz, Michael Cole will be hosting. John Cena's in town, so we're thinking maybe John Cena might be inducting AJ Styles. We don't know that yet, but we haven't heard too much about the inductees. I know that Sid Vicious, because he's going in the Legacy Hall of Fame, he's only going to have a video package. There's no speech. His son's come out and said they're not being presented anything like that, which I think is a real shame.
That's a shame for Sid.
For Sid and his family, because I think he deserves a little bit more from that. But we've got who else we got? We've got Demolition, we've got AJ, we've got Steph, and obviously Tripp's going to be talking. Triple H, they mentioned, is going to be doing her podcast prior to this. He's going to be interviewing her. Tripp's getting about now, obviously WrestleMania season. He was on the Cody podcast recently as well. And it's been strange that he's been doing the Obar and Brock stuff, but he hasn't actually said anything. He's just kind of been there. It's kind of unusual for him not to have a say, but Right, guys, anything else you want to talk about?
Curious. I think I do agree with Friday. The AJ Becky lip. It blows my mind that's not got a stipulation on it. The fact
Yes.
that every time Becky's tapped, and she's
That's
arguing,
right, and they've
"I wasn't
really
tapping."
focused on that in the video
Yeah.
package. She's tapped every match. So yeah, you're right. Should be a stipulation type of match.
Have a submission match on. Yeah, it would just add a little bit. It probably would excite me a little bit more for it. But yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, well, thank you very much, guys, for being here. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you for everybody in the chat on YouTube and TikTok. We really, really appreciate you being here. If you haven't, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. You can find our affiliate links if you're purchasing anything from the WWE shop, whether that's in the US or Europe. Go into the description of the video and you'll find our affiliate link there. We'd really, really appreciate it. If you're on TikTok, you'll see the QR code up on the screen as well. Brino, where can people find you?
Usual on TikTok, mostly Belt Up Brido, belts, figures, posts about me hiding things from my wife, wrestling related, and please can somebody buy things from the affiliate, because it stops me having to do it. I think I'm trying to fund this place myself, but
Yes, Brino's keeping us afloat.
but yeah, TikTok. And you'll find a little bit on Instagram. Facebook will probably be better towards the end of the year, but right now, mostly TikTok.
Okay, awesome. And Neil, the real deal, where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok and on Instagram. You will find I have not posted in a significant amount of time, but I will be returning back to it. I've been extremely busy for a long time. But I will be returning to reviewing films and doing my fantasy castings, and then you will catch me on Creative Control when it gets back to the top 10s. And
Yes, that'll be coming soon as well, 100%. I think after WrestleMania week, I'm going to start being able to try and get the Creative Control movie podcast back up and running again. It's been a while. I think we did 2 at the start of the year, and then it's dropped off again. So, well, Lee can't be found on social media, or you shouldn't look for him because all his content is not HR approved. So.
Buy me on Tinder, people.
Yeah.
Listen, I saw that screenshot of the group of your WhatsApp messages, bro. You already approved.
I don't think anybody else has to find you. I think you found plenty.
I think some people need to lose you.
Reggie, great show, lads. Really appreciate that, Reggie. Thank you very much. Let's throw that up on the screen. I think it deserves it. So the other thing I want to mention is I will be doing a live for WrestleMania this weekend. So if you do want to watch along with me, it'd be great for you to keep me company. I'll be doing Saturday and Sunday night. It goes 11 p.m. UK time, which is great. A couple of hours earlier than normal, so not a ridiculous early time in the morning. And I'm also going to be doing Raw after Mania. I've actually booked the Tuesday off of work because I thought, you know what, let's do it. If we're going to go in, let's go all in. So I'll be doing that one as well. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night, I'll be streaming live on YouTube and on TikTok. But that's it for now. Thank you very much, guys, and we're going to say until next time, peace out. End. All right, well, we're